We are on the air. Okay, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome everyone to the regular business meeting of the Grosse Township Board of Trustees for October 14th, 2013. Let's begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to call the meeting to order at 7:41. All the trustees are present, so we have a quorum for business. And the first item of business will be additions, deletions to the agenda, and we do have one. I'm requesting the board add, for action item number 8, the authorizing Chief Murdoch to replace an engine for the water rescue vessel, otherwise known as the airboat.
Support.
Okay, I've got a move by Supervisor, seconded by Trustee Smith. Those in favor of adding this as action item number 8, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? None offered? That will be added as action item number 8. Are there any other additions or deletions to the agenda? Okay, with none offered, those in favor of approving the agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? The agenda stands amended. Next on the agenda tonight, and again, some parts of this job are better than others. This is one of the better parts. We have a presentation, this time for our police officers and one civilian life-saving awards. So I guess I'll turn it over to Chief Porcerelli. Mr. Bletcher, are you going to partake in this also? Turn it over to the chief? Okay. Mr. Bletcher is chair of the police commission, but he's deferring to Chief Porcerelli. So, Chief?
I'll have him come up after.
Good.
Safety things, that would be great. I'd like to introduce these gentlemen first before we get into this commendation award. These officers and Mr. Sapirski, come on up here. If I could introduce these gentlemen first, and then we'll go through what occurred. We have Officer McLaughlin on the end, Officer Harden, and this is Jerry Sapirski, a civilian, who's getting a civilian commendation tonight. Officer Counts and Officer Brozak. If I could just go into a brief synopsis of each issue. We have 3 life-saving awards I'd like to give out separate issues tonight. And it was quite a 3-week period for us in the police department. We do get life-saving awards usually during the year, but this was in a 3-week period. And as you can see, we had 3 separate issues with 5 gentlemen that I awarded these to. The first one I'd like to go over is Officer Todd Brozak. He was working one afternoon shift and he responded, and I believe, Brian, it was next to your house, to a full arrest. He arrived at the scene first, began CPR on an individual that was unresponsive, not breathing, and no heartbeat. By the time the fire department came, Fire Marshal Russ Boudry helped him out with this, and the ambulance came obviously right away, and they got him back in the ambulance, and it was a confirmed save. So the first one for Todd, and that was number 3 for the department, correct? The 3rd life-saving award that he has gotten for the department, and I'd like to give this to you, Todd. Thank you very much. Did you? Maybe that was too quick then. Do I have to hold this long? All right. Wrong way again. Good. Good? Okay. The next one is with 3 gentlemen. Officer Harden, Officer Brozak again, and Officer Counts. They responded to a call on Macomb Street to the senior citizen complex. And the call was an apparent fire in an apartment rather. And the individual that lives there is wheelchair bound. And the call came in, she had one of those, not cell phones, the life alert. So that was a nice thing to have. Apparently there was a kitchen fire on the stove and she couldn't get up she fell out of the chair and she could not put it out or do anything, and she actually couldn't get up. She's non-ambulatory. So they got to the residence right away. They went in, the whole apartment was smoke filled. They put the fire out. They were able to get her out to fresh air, And again, if we didn't respond within a couple minutes to these calls, there would have been a lot more problems with that whole place. I'm not saying there's something wrong with the way they're built, but as you know, fire runs exponentially through a place. That's why it's not minutes that are so important in a house fire or any kind of fire. It's seconds, and I'm so proud of them to get there and do what they had to do, and their quick thinking not only, I know, saved her life, but could have saved many others in that complex. So
Sure.
The 3 individuals, this would be number 4, correct? Number 2, correct? Sure. That would be good. And number 2 for Brent. So here you go, let's,
All right.
Here, you guys, 1, 2, 3, get in a picture there, that's probably better than getting me in it. Very good, very good. And the last one tonight will be for Officer McLaughlin, and as I stated, this is Jerry Sapirski. Jerry lives in the condos next door to Sunoco. And what occurred this night is Jerry smelled smoke coming from the building area, so he went to investigate, and first off, he couldn't find where the smoke was coming from, but he just kept going. He checked all the apartments and was able to ascertain it came from a first floor apartment. There was smoke coming out from the door. He called 911 right away, and then he went to the other apartments within that building to make sure everybody got out. Officer McLaughlin arrived first to the scene, and they found an open window. Officer McLaughlin went through the window again. It was a smoke-filled room. There was a kitchen fire going on at the time, and an individual was out on the floor, passed out. They did what they had to do with the individual. They put the fire out, and without their quick work, without getting to the scene first, I think, again, very ironic, these 2 situations, these 2 fires were almost identical, almost absolutely identical. And it's their quick thinking, their quick work, and responding, and not being afraid to get their hands dirty. So Jerry and Dan, this is Dan's 4th life-saving accommodation, and I think this is Jerry's first, but I didn't ask him. But let's just get a picture. You don't need me in there. You know, I'd just like to say, just if I could take one more second here. Chief Murdoch last month had his firemen up here, and there's such a good working relationship with the police and fire, and it really makes me feel proud not only to grow up out here, to be a part of this community, but to be the police chief and to see what we both do with police and fire. And I know that Chief Murdoch meant it last month when not a lot of cities, for some reason, get along. I don't know why that is with their police and fire, and a lot of police departments don't even go to fire calls. They don't go to rescues. They don't get their hands dirty. But I just have to say I'm very proud of these gentlemen. There's this code of ethics that we have, and the first thing that we should learn in this code of ethics is the preservation of life. And there's a price sometimes that's paid with the preservation of life. And at the time that they had to make a decision and react to this, they really didn't put their life first. They put somebody else's life first. You know, the police and fire department here might be the only 2 groups, and I'm not downing anybody else, it just happens to be this way, that we run into everything that everyone else is running out of. And I'm just very proud to be a part of this group and to have them do what they do every day for the citizens, because they deserve the best service, because they take care of us very well. So I just want to thank them and thank you also for the support.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, so you dodged your duty on that. I will just make one closing comment. As Chief pointed out, I did watch one of my neighbors be brought back to life. And I know I said this with the firefighters. I need to say it again for the police officers who were there and how they work. It was an integrated team. No words had to be spoken. Each man, when he arrived, knew what he had to do, and he knew to stay out of the way for the next man to do his job. They were, like I said, they were like a well-oiled machine. They brought him back to life, got him in the ambulance and out, and cleaned up and were gone. It was just awesome to watch. I was hope I never have to see it again, but I'm glad to know you guys are out there. So from me and for all of us, thanks again. Okay, and
Thank you, Brian.
while we're still on the subject, while the presentation continues, Chair of the Police Commission, Mr. Carl Bletcher.
I just wanted to also acknowledge that a year ago, when the police department was asking the community to provide us with millage and funds, these are direct benefits, these are direct results from the things that they have allowed us to do. You, the board, and the community as a whole have supported us. They supported us with tax dollars. You supported us with your votes. You've taken care of us. What you're seeing tonight and what you've heard and what you've seen is simply a product of that support. It's a product of the relationship between the fire and the police. And I just want to say thank you to each and every member of the board, and thank you to the community as a whole.
Well, it's well earned.
Thanks, Carl.
Thanks, Carl. Okay, that will complete our presentation. Once again, thanks for taking the time to come this evening, and thanks for a job well done. At this time, we're going to open it up to brief public comment on items on tonight's agenda. So you're limited to 3 minutes specifically on tonight's agenda items as published in the paper, and the microphone is open, and Mr. Clark is volunteering.
Woody Clark, Park Lane. You, number 8, a
Yes.
motor. Can you tell me how much this motor is gonna cost?
It's, Chief Wade, I can, but I'll tell you what he told us today. We're going to authorize funds not to exceed $50,000. The estimate's in the $40,000 range to remove and replace.
Okay, how many lives have we saved with this boat?
I know, I would
Lives.
say he's going to save 6 or
Well,
7.
real life.
We
Real
don't,
lives?
he doesn't distinguish. He's not going to,
I don't pick and choose.
he doesn't
Okay.
pick and choose.
What difference would that make?
It's a valid
We
point,
spent
but,
a lot of money for this little
yeah.
machine. And, you know, we just keep spending.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Clark. Other comments on tonight's action items? Okay, with none offered, we'll move on to the consent agenda. Mr. Treasurer.
Okay, the meeting goes downhill from here, guys.
Fun's over.
I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda 13-120, which is to approve the minutes of the September 23rd, 2013 regular meeting, and approve the check register dated October 11th, 2013.
Support.
Okay, as always, the firefighters are always on duty, but we have a motion by Treasurer Van Oss, seconded by Trustee Budney, to approve the consent agenda as published. Discussion among the board. Okay, with none offered, those in favor of approving the consent agenda as published, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered, the consent agenda stands approved. Moving on, like I said, downhill from here. Action items, okay, first one. First action item, I recommend that the Grosse Township Board of Trustees approve the hours between 6 o'clock p.m. and 8 p.m. on Thursday, October 31st, 2013, for the purpose of Halloween trick-or-treating in Grosse Township. Okay, seconded by Trustee Posiask. And the history of this is, the board always designates an evening for Halloween. We can alert the public. We can, if necessary, bring extra public safety on and make it a safe event. So that's the purpose, that we designate a specific evening, and we always do it actually on Halloween because it's the last holiday, fun day that's pretty much just for kids. Discussion on the board? We're not offered? Those in favor of designating the hours 6 to 8 p.m. on Thursday, October 31st for Halloween trick-or-treating, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered? That motion carries. Moving on, action item number 2, Mr. Budney.
Yes, sir, thank you. I'd like to make a motion to enter into an agreement with Wayne County for priority winter maintenance services to the following local roads within the township and county, each sharing in half the cost.
Support.
Yeah,
Well, I think probably I'll just read the roads.
Okay.
And then I'll support you.
Oh, well, okay. Bellevue Road from Meridian to East River, Church Road from East River to West River, Ferry Road, East River Road to West River, Grays Drive, Meridian to East River, Horse Mill Road, Meridian to East River, Lions Drive from Macomb to Grays Drive, Manchester Road, East River to Meridian, Meridian Road from Bridge to Grow, Park Lane from Bridge to Church, Park Lane from Church to Oak River, and Park Lane from Ferry Road to Bellevue, and South Point from Grow to Albemarle Road. The township share of the cost for 2013-14 season is $20,519.77 for 10.81 miles of roadway at $958.87 per mile, per lane mile, which is 21.40 lane miles.
Supported by the supervisor.
All right. And this, the history on this is something that we've done for many years, and it gives us priority from Wayne County whenever we have a snowfall. If you'll notice, they're over here right away to clean up, and that's what we're paying for. So our lanes are open for emergencies, for the schools, and for our residents to get on and off the island.
Mr. Buddy, I'd ask you to read the road so it's obvious to everyone. These are, again, as you pointed out, these are the what we have, as close as we have to our arterials for getting off and on. It's also the school bus routes.
Yes.
And I think that's where the safety factor comes in. Mr. Treasurer. I'm sorry.
I was just
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, Ted, I was just going to add that over the years, for instance, in the cost to us is always based on the year before. So it's the history that Wayne County has had the year before as far as the cost of doing our roads is what we end up going forward with. So for instance, in 2005, 2006, it cost us $38,009. It varies every year. 2012, 2013, it cost us $10,500. So it's a moving figure based on the actual cost from the year before. Okay, Ted?
Yeah, I just, for many, many years, we had a trustee on the board that traditionally voted against this, primarily because the roads are Wayne County's and it's their obligation. It's kind of a bitter pill that we have to swallow. I mean, we pay a lot of money to Wayne County and through our road maintenance. And if we were to not agree to this, I'm not sure when we would see Wayne County here. I'll guarantee you it wouldn't be within the day of the snowfall. So just for our own safety and the public safety, for people going to and from work, the kids going to and from school, this becomes an obligation that we may not like a lot, but I think it pays for itself in the long run.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Other comments from the board?
Total agreement, Ted.
Right, any other comments from the board on this? All right, with none offered, those in favor of entering into an agreement with Wayne County for priority winter maintenance services for the aforementioned roads, with the township and county each sharing half the cost, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None offered. That motion also carries. Action item number 3.
I'll take that.
Mr. Ross.
This is a resolution of recognition of the retirement of Barb McMahon. To acknowledge the retirement of Barb McMahon after 21 years of service to Groseal Township in the Department of Public Works Billing Clerk, the Treasurer's Office Cashier, Information Systems Coordinator. Barb provided valuable knowledge to service to the staff and residents of this township during her tenure. She was very informative, helpful to the township staff and the Board of Trustees and the residents and visitors to Township Hall. We as a board would like to thank Barb for her time and talents and to our island community and She was a great asset. We have since replaced Barb since her retirement with Carrie Lockwood, and we're moving forward, but this will be, she'll certainly be missed in the township.
Okay, looking for pass reports, okay? I think Mrs. Smith,
She beat me up.
I think she beat you, so we'll give the second to Mrs. Smith. Any discussion among the board? All right, we can't call her back. I think she's already started enjoying her retirement. So those in favor of acknowledging the retirement of Barb McMahon, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
And opposed, none offered. So again, Barb, thanks for your service. And Carrie seems to be fitting in pretty well. Let's see. Next action item. Recommend Osceola Township Board of Trustees approve a memorial